Hello, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I am coming at you with a shepherd's pie recipe that is Weight Watchers friendly, and I wanted to film this video in particular because it is so incredibly versatile. I'm making it with ground beef, but you can also substitute a vegan ground beef or just use all mushrooms if that's your preference. It is 4 Weight Watchers points for a quarter of the 7 by 11 baking dish, which I think is a pretty hearty portion. This is going to be a great recipe as we head into fall and winter. It's pure comfort food. It's loaded with veggies and it is topped with cauliflower mash, which cuts down on the Weight Watchers points. So instead of using mashed potatoes, we are going to be using mashed cauliflower, which cuts down substantially on the Weight Watchers points. But if you're not on Weight Watchers or mashed potatoes are just your thing, then go ahead and substitute those out. I am going to be using a food processor to blend up the cauliflower mash. If you don't have a food processor, you can try using a high-speed blender or just getting the cauliflower mash from your grocery store's frozen section. That should work out just fine. Just check the points if you are doing WW. So without any further ado, let's get into the recipe.
All right, starting with our ingredients, we have ground beef, chopped up mushrooms, onions, celery, garlic, black pepper, tomato paste, salt, rosemary, parsley, thyme, beef broth, flour, and red wine. I'm cooking everything over a medium-high heat, and I'm not using any oil or any sort of spray in this recipe. If you feel the need to, you can use water, spray oil, or some broth. I'm starting with the celery and onion, and then I'll add the garlic, and I'll just stir everything up in the pan and cook until everything is semi-translucent. Now we're going to add in our ground beef and mushrooms. Like I said in the intro, you can use all mushrooms, you can use a vegetarian ground, whatever your preference is. And we're going to go ahead and saute this until your meat is browned, your mushrooms are tender, and most of the juices from the meat have evaporated. While this is all cooking, go ahead and pop your steamable bag of veggies into the microwave. Once that's all cooked up, you can go ahead and add those in and mix up. Next, we're going to add in salt, pepper, and the flour. Once all that's added, you'll go ahead and stir until the flour is completely incorporated. Next, we're going to add in the tomato paste, and you want to stir to incorporate this for about a minute. Next, we're going to deglaze the pan with your red wine. After that's all added in, just scrape all the brown bits from the bottom of the pan. Next, you're going to add in your beef broth. Give that a good stir and let it simmer until you've got a thick gravy. Now it's time for herbs. I'm adding parsley, rosemary, and thyme, and mix it all up. Go ahead and dump all of that into a 7x11 baking dish. And then we're going to set that aside to cool off while we make our cauliflower mash. Now is going to be the time to go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's get started on the cauliflower mash. You're going to want a fairly large head of cauliflower. Just go ahead and get all the green parts off, and then chop up the cauliflower into fairly uniform size pieces. I'm going to give this a good wash, and then I'll steam it until it's fork tender. To our cauliflower mash, we're going to add ground black pepper, butter, sour cream, and salt. This is the butter I'm using. I ended up having to process my cauliflower in 2 batches because I had so much it wouldn't all fit in one batch. You're going to add in your cauliflower with your butter, sour cream, salt, and pepper, and then process that until it's smooth and creamy. Spread your cauliflower mash out over your filling. Now it's time to bake. I put mine in for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Here's our finished product and my serving. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a huge thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time.